Hey, Olivia. I was wondering how the preparation for Emily's wedding is going. Keep in mind that I won't forgive you if you ruin my daughter's wedding. Yes, we are making progress little by little, but I want to be there for my father as much as possible, so we haven't finished the last meeting yet. Huh? You don't have to be with your father. Ask someone else to watch him until the wedding is over. Melinda, my father is in the hospital. He's not in a very good condition. So? I asked John to tell you about it. Yes, he did. But you're already married and part of our family. We need you to prioritize our event. It's my own daughter's important wedding. I understand that, but my father keeps calling my name. I can't leave his side. You want your father to go away so badly? What? Because it sounds like that's how you're putting it. It's like you're saying that he's going to heaven any minute now. I don't mean it that way. But looking at his condition, I can't say for sure that he won't. I'm sorry, but could you go to the meeting at the wedding hall? Huh? What? Are you trying to ask me to do your job? I just want to ask you to do me a favor. Just this once. Oh, I can't do that. I have a reunion trip starting tomorrow, so I'll be away from home for a few days. What? At a time like this? Emily's wedding is coming up soon, you know. She's coming home from far and won't be able to go to the meeting, so I was relying on you. Are you asking me not to go to the reunion trip? The situation is what it is, so I have no choice. Please, I really can't leave my father's side. Your father is in the hospital. If something happens, the nurses and doctors will take care of him. You're not going to be of any help. That's true, but after my mother passed away, my father raised me by himself. He is very important to me. I can't leave him alone when he's going through such a hard time. Stop nagging. I've told you many times, you're my son's wife. What I tell you to do is all that matters. Anyway, you should proceed with the meeting at the wedding hall. Melinda, please. I'm planning to return for my daughter's wedding. I'll leave it to you until then. Hey, John, you have a minute? Hey, what's up? Did something happen to your father? No, he's a little stable now. Oh, thank God. You scared me. I just got a call from your mother. Huh? My mother again? What is it this time? She said she's going on a reunion trip tomorrow and she'll be gone for a few days. What? At a time when Emily's wedding is just around the corner? I only have one meeting left at the wedding hall. I was going to ask her to go, but she can't. You can't count on her, you know? I guess not. If you don't mind, could you go to the meeting? Everything is almost done. They just need to have a final check. I have to get this one right for Emily, who's coming back from far away. A wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Well, I'm sorry my mother is always pushing you to do too much at a time like this. She is self-centered and always been a person who puts her own schedule first. I can't rely on her at all. It's not worth counting on. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll take care of the wedding meeting.
And you take care of your father, okay?
Thank you, John.
So, how's he doing?
He's a little stable, but they say it could happen at any time.
I see. If you stay with him, he might get better. Take good care of him.
I'll do that. I'm sorry to have you go on the meeting right before the wedding.
What are you talking about? Dad and Emily both know exactly what you're going through. They understand, so don't you worry about it.
Hey, Olivia! Answer me! What are you doing at a time like this? Olivia! Hi, Melinda. Today is Emily's wedding, you know. What's going on that she didn't show up on time? Don't you know anything about it? John and your husband were both trying to contact you. Have you heard anything? There were several incoming calls, but I suppose it's not important, is it? My father passed away. What? He was stable, but there was a sudden change of condition. What? Is that so? I haven't heard anything about that. I think it was more like you refused to listen. John and your husband were repeatedly calling you, trying to let you know the schedule of his wake and funeral. Oh, come to think of it, there were many missed calls from them. I was with my old friends the whole time, so I didn't answer the phone. Didn't you think it was strange that they called you so many times? I was feeling excited about my reunion trip, so I didn't even think about it. Besides, I was so preoccupied with Emily's wedding. Wedding? My father passed away and you're thinking about a wedding? Why not? The wedding has been planned for more than half a year now. It's terrible that your father is gone at a time like this. No one can predict that. It's terrible to talk like that. I can't forgive you, even if you're my mother-in-law. My beloved father is gone, and talking about a wedding is insane. Put Emily's wedding before your father's funeral. What? Or else, I'll have you divorce my son right away. Divorce? A wedding and a divorce during my father's funeral. What on earth are you thinking? How can I attend a wedding when I have to go to my father's funeral? I'm sure John feels the same way. What on earth are you and John thinking? Excuse me? My daughter is finally getting married. Even though she lives far away from here, her family lives here. She's coming all the way back home to get married because we are here. And you want to ruin it because of your father's funeral? What are you talking about? It's beyond insane. Besides, we're inviting a lot of guests. What are you going to do with them? About all the people we have invited? Your husband, John, Emily, and her fiancé were all calling the guests to notify the situation last night. What? Emily too? She's already at the funeral home. What? What do you mean? She's getting married today. Emily's always been concerned about my father. She's been asking me how he's doing even before she left her home to come back. She did? Yes. She told me that she couldn't have a wedding with my father in such a state. I was very sorry. You should be. My daughter's wedding is ruined because of you. What are you going to do about it? but she rushed to my father's hospital as soon as she returned home. He was already unconscious by then. After she discussed it with her fiancé, they decided to postpone the wedding.
Huh? Postpone? So you're saying there won't be a wedding?
No, it's postponed, so it will be held on a different date.
What have you and your father done? I was looking forward to my daughter's wedding. I even bought a dress.
Emily said that she couldn't just ignore my father's kindness. Her fiancé said the same thing to me. Also, his parents came to the hospital as soon as they heard from him. They said that if that's the case, they can postpone it.
What? His parents came too?
Yes, they attended the funeral. All my relatives came to my father's funeral. They said it was good because they had originally cleared their schedules for the wedding. I think my father would have been happy too.
Wait a minute. So I'm the only one who didn't attend your father's funeral?
Yes.
What? I should be the first one to know, and why didn't you tell me?
I told you that John and your husband tried contacting you several times. You were the one who didn't answer the phone, or even reply, remember? There was no way to let you know.
And all your relatives are there, aren't they?
Yes, except you.
Then tell me where it is, because I'll be at the funeral home right away.
No, thank you. You tried to put the wedding before my father's funeral, and I don't think my father would be pleased.
What are you saying? Are you trying to say that I'm not entitled to go to the funeral?
My family and other relatives are furious.
Well,
in the first place, you went on a reunion trip right before Emily's wedding. And you left all the wedding preparations to me, knowing that my father was in the hospital. And we couldn't even get in touch with you about my father's funeral. Do you think people don't feel anything about you after all this?
The plan for the reunion trip was already made, so there's nothing I could do about it.
Emily had been planning her wedding for a long time. But she said she couldn't possibly have a wedding while my father was unconscious. She decided to postpone it immediately.
She did such a thing?
I don't want you coming to the funeral because you only think about yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Olivia, wait a minute. John, what's going on? You should at least call me. I'm worried too, you know. Emily's wedding has been postponed without telling me. Olivia is rude and says she doesn't want me to come to her father's funeral. What the heck is going on? You really are a selfish mother, aren't you? I knew it before, but I never thought it was this bad. You knew her father was in the hospital, right? Well, yeah, but I didn't know it was that bad. Don't lie. I'm sure Olivia has told you everything. You're the one who forced her to go to Emily's wedding's meeting and then went on a trip. What were you thinking? Don't talk to your mother like that. I just went on a reunion trip that had been scheduled for a while. I'm saying that's insane to begin with. Even if there wasn't a funeral, you knew that Emily had a wedding coming up, didn't you? And that she would be returning home right before. Yes, I did. So? Then why were you traveling for the reunion? Isn't it the mother's job to welcome her daughter back home before the wedding? That's true, but... You're the mother who put everything on Olivia and didn't know any of the details of the wedding, right? Well... Her father was the one who owns the ceremony hall.
What?
Olivia's father? So he was doing his best to give Emily the best wedding possible. They had the best staff for the day. Do you know why?
Why?
Because he didn't think he could come on the wedding day. He didn't want to ruin Emily's wedding. He prepared the best staff instead of himself not being able to go. And he sent me detailed instructions via WhatsApp from his hospital room.
Really? I didn't know any of that.
Emily knew about it too, of course. So when she found out that Olivia's father wasn't feeling well, she rushed to the hospital as soon as she got back home and immediately decided to postpone the wedding. Emily and her husband's family were very grateful to Olivia's father. So his family wanted us to postpone the wedding as well. And on the other hand, what were you doing?
I didn't know anything about it. Besides, isn't it natural to look forward to your daughter's wedding?
Of course we were all looking forward to the wedding. But something happened that made her want to postpone it. What do you mean you didn't know? Don't be ridiculous. You knew Olivia's father wasn't well. Yet you forced her to do everything and you went on a trip.
It's not that. It was something I really needed to do. You have to understand that.
I never thought well of your selfishness, even when I was a child. But I gave up on you because you are my mother. But I can't forgive you this time. You're disgusting, you know that?
How could you say that to your mother? You better take that back.
Fine. I'm going to break off the relationship with you. I don't want you bullying Olivia anymore. Don't you ever come near us again.
John? What do you mean by breaking off the relationship? Are you saying you're leaving me?
That's right.
John, wait a minute. Let's just calm down and talk about it. Melinda, that's all from John. He says he doesn't want to talk to you anymore.
Oh no.
You were the one giving him orders. There's no way that he would say such a thing. Melinda, it's not only about you. Emily is also going to break off the relationship with you too.
What?
She said there's no way she can be a daughter to someone like you, who is as selfish as you are. If you continue this behavior, their own marriage will also be ruined. So she wants to break up with you before the wedding.
Even Emily is like that?
Olivia, you better fix this. It's all your fault, isn't it? You canceled the wedding for your own reason, and this is what happened. Melinda, don't you get it? It's that kind of thing you made John and Emily want to break off their relationship with you. Don't you realize that?
You're so cocky, daughter-in-law, you know? Your father passed away because you didn't take good care of him. If you had taken good care of him, he would have lived longer. After all, it's your fault that this happened.
You didn't even come to visit my father. What do you know? Do you know how much he suffered? You don't know anything. I can't forgive you.
I'm the one who can't forgive you.
You really are scum. I heard that you called it a reunion trip, but actually, it was an adultery trip, wasn't it?
Huh? What kind of nonsense are you saying all of a sudden? Don't be ridiculous. What makes you think I'm having an affair?
I have plenty of evidence.
What?
In fact, your spending habits and selfishness had been bothering your husband for some time. He always suspected you of cheating on him. Your selfishness was getting to the point where he couldn't take it anymore. Before you went on that reunion trip, he hired a private detective.
What? A private detective?
He showed me some photos as evidence. And that's definitely you in the photos. This is why you didn't even reply, no matter how many times your husband and John tried to contact you. After all, you didn't care about my father.
That's not true. I never had an affair. There really was a reunion.
But this time too, the evidence is perfectly clear. It seems that you and your adulterous partner stayed at the hotel with a luxury spa.
Oh, that's enough. You really know about this.
Of course I do. We've got a professional looking into it. If you think I'm lying, shall I tell you the name of the hotel?
Stop it. Does my husband know everything?
Of course he does. It's your husband who asked the private detective to look into it. All his doubts for you are clear now. And there's also the matter of John and Emily. So he said he's going to divorce you.
Divorce? Why should I get a divorce? It's all your fault, isn't it?
Why am I to blame? I heard that the affair had been going on for several years. You were withdrawing money from your husband's account every time you met secretly. He was very angry about that too.
What? He found out about it?
As for the money, he found out a long time ago. Don't you think that's why he decided to ask a professional for help? He is now going through divorce proceedings with his lawyer.
What? He's already that far along?
He seems to be very determined. He must have been very disappointed in you. Everyone in the family felt sorry for him.
That's a lie. You're my daughter-in-law and you didn't do anything about it?
What? I'm not in a position to interfere in his relationship with you. This is between you and him.
Wait. If he divorces me and the kids cut me off, I'll be all alone, won't I?
That's what will happen, isn't it?
Olivia, you have to convince everyone. If you tell them, they will change their minds, right? Please do so.
No, all three of them seem determined. I don't think they'll change their minds even if I talk to them.
That's your duty as a daughter-in-law to do something about it. I'm in the biggest crisis of my life, okay? Do something about it.
You must be joking.
Huh?
You disrespect my father who was ill and suffering a lot. And you were on an adulterous trip. Besides, do you think I would help you who tried to force me to go on with the wedding?
What are you saying?
I cannot forgive you for the rest of my life. I believe that your husband, John, and Emily made the right decision.
Olivia, don't say that. What will happen to me now if you don't help me?
Well, I think it's exactly as you imagine.
I don't want to. I don't want to live my life like that. I'm sincerely sorry about your father. Olivia, I'm sorry. I'll change my mind from now on. Please, forgive me. Please, save me.
I told you before, didn't I? I cannot forgive you for the rest of my life. So I would like to break off the relationship with you too.
Oh no.
I will block all your contacts after this text conversation.
Olivia, don't say that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I still have a lot to do with my father. I have to run. I'm sure you'll hear from our lawyers soon. Please take care.
Wait, Olivia!
After that, the divorce proceedings were difficult because of Melinda's obstinacy. However, she finally gave up because she had all the evidence of the affair and the evidence of using her husband's money. The divorce was officially finalized without her husband giving her a penny. Melinda had used all of his savings, so he had nothing to share with her. She had to leave the house with nothing. Melinda was left penniless, and her adulterous partner had also simply abandoned her. She had no choice but to seek help from her relatives, even those who knew what happened at my father's funeral. They coldly told her that they did not want to have anything to do with a dishonest person. Even so, she was able to get money to rent a house through the kindness of her relatives. I heard that she is now living alone in a small old apartment while working part-time. 10 months after my father's funeral, Emily was able to have a wedding ceremony. The staff of the wedding hall, who worked under my father, put his will into the ceremony and made it wonderful. Emily and her fiancé and their families were very happy. I am happy to be able to give my father a happy report. John and I will be moving in with John's father, and the three of us are now living a peaceful life together.